Hello there Vivaldi friends, it's Mr. Daniel back here again. I hope you've been enjoying learning the left-hand sentences and playing songs in the C position. Today we're going to move forward, learning right-hand sentences, and this time with the G position. Alright, back with the trusty whiteboard. Now we are going to do the sentences for the treble clef. This is how a treble clef looks like. I'm going to draw one more down here. Treble clef. Alright, let's spell that. Treble clef. And the treble clef you play with your right hand. So again, there's a sequence. Treble clef you play with your right hand. And right hand is for people. Alright, let's start this time with the line notes. There are lines that make a stave. These are staves. How many lines make a stave? Let's count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 lines. And guess what? Each note that falls on this line gets a line note. How many line notes? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 line notes. Alright, and like I said, there would be a sentence, right? So here we go. Right hand is for treble clef. Treble clef you play with your right hand. Sorry, that's a treble clef. Treble clef you play with your right hand, and right hand is for people. Why people? Here's your sentence. Every good boy deserves fudge. Every good boy deserves fudge. Why again is it important to learn this sentence? It's how you figure out notes in the treble clef. So let's practice. Here we go. Let's try the sentence. Every good boy deserves. Deserves. That's a D. Let's try a tough one. The first one. Every. Every you actually spell with an E. E. Let's do 2 more. How about the highest one? Every good boy deserves fudge. Fudge. You spell with an F, so that's an F. Last one. Let's do this one. Every good boy. Boy, you spell with a B. Treble clef, you play with your right hand, and right hand is for people. What is the sentence? Every good boy deserves fudge. Every good boy deserves fudge. This is a stave, and there are 5 lines that make a stave. And the spaces in between the lines are called space notes. Well, the notes that fall in between the spaces are called space notes. And how many space notes are there? 1, 2, 3, 4. So, what's a little interesting is you don't get a sentence, but you do spell something with the 4 space notes of the treble clef. Treble clef you play with your right hand, and right hand is for people. Let's see what it spells. F-A-C-E. Face. You spell face of a person with the space notes of the treble clef. How many space notes are there? Let's count again. 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 space notes. And why is it important to learn this? First of all, you learn how to spell face, so that's a good thing. But you also get to figure out what notes, what space notes are in the treble clef. So let's go again. Treble clef is for the right hand. Right hand is for people. So let's use face. F-A-C-E. That's an E in the treble clef. How about this one? Face. F. That's an F. Let's do one more. How about this one? F-A-C. These are the space notes of the treble clef. Alright everybody, we're back here with our trusty whiteboard. And we have the treble clef and the bass clef. And here's something new. These are what you call key signatures. And in this case, we have F sharp for both the treble clef and the bass clef. And let's not go into this right now because we will learn about that a little later. So let's move on to the actual notes of the G position. We used to learn notes for the C position, and if you can remember, both this number one finger and the pinky, they were both playing C's. And in the G position, this finger will play G and this pinky will play G. So let's take a look at the notes for the right hand. G position begins with G. Right hand is for people. And people, the sentence for people is every good. So that would be the second line note. So here we go, everybody. This is our first G for the G position. And we also know this as 1, 2. Second line note, giraffe note G. So now let's figure out the rest of the notes for the G position. We've got G. And what comes after G, everybody? Starts all over again with A. That's A. And after a space note, the pattern is we go back to a line note. And here we have B. Let's keep going. After a line note is a space note, A, B, C. And the last note for the right hand in the G position, after a space note is a line note. This is A, D, after a C. So let's use our sentence for the right hand to see if we have our notes correct. We already figured this one out, every good. So that's why that's a G. So let's use the same sentence for the next line note. Every good boy. Keep going. Every good boy deserves. That would be for the G position. And the sentence we're going to use is great big dogs fight animals. So let's start with the G. As we figured out, the pinky is going to be playing G. So great. Coincidence? That is our G for the left hand. And so let's keep going up the fingers for the left hand. We've got a G, so that's a line note. The next note would be a space note. And after G is A. And you'll notice that the letters are actually the same. So after A is a line note. That would be B. Great, big. Let's keep going. That is a C. And then the next line note would be a D. So there you have it, everybody. The notes for the G position. All right, now we're by the keyboard with our G position notes. Let's figure out how to get ready for the G position. With the C position, we used to have two black keys, first white key over here for the right hand, and C would be over here. And as I explained earlier, that we want this number one finger to be playing G now. So this G. And this is giraffe note G, which is right here, right now. So we're going to move our number 1 finger to G. So that's the right hand. Now let's check out the left hand. We used to get ready over here for the C position, 2 black keys, first white key, and this would have been playing C. Now we want the pinky to play a G, and this G. And we also know this is gorilla note G. That would be a G. So another way of looking for this G is to use this G to find the next G, which is down here. And we put our pinky there. And that is left hand for the G position. So you've got right hand G position, left hand G position. Let's check out the notes for the right hand. G. Next to it is A. Next to it is B. Next to it, C. Next to it, D. Those are the notes for the right hand. Let's check out the notes for the left hand. G, next, A, B, next, C, and D. G position. I'll do both hands together. G, A, B, C, and D.